What's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we're taking a look over here at the Bitcoin price chart as we have a bunch of green over here in the cryptocurrency market and in the altcoin market. Bitcoin still holding that $30,000 price level this morning, coming off of some what's felt like timed news of SEC says spot Bitcoin ETF filings are inadequate, as the Wall Street Journal reported this morning at 9:35 Eastern Time, citing anonymous sources. And as we were watching live with markets in the morning, within mere seconds, Bitcoin started selling off right on this anonymously sourced article from the Wall Street Journal. This happened shortly after the US stock market opened, a mere 5 minutes after the markets opened, as we're having a crushing day over here in the stock market with the S&P 500 up over 1% along with the NASDAQ, as these are battling the retracement levels but higher than the closes of last week, and as the Dow Jones fights against the 702 retracement at the same time. We were having quite a stellar morning over here in the crypto market with Bitcoin at about $31,000 and still not terrible over here in crypto. You still got stuff like Bitcoin Cash up 16%, Litecoin up 15%, Zcash 9%, several other 6, 5s, 4s, and 3s still going on here in the market. But of course, always startling to watch a 12-minute just absolute crushing sell-off happen in here, which ended up taking out every single stop loss that's been set here for the last week. So anybody trading this, setting any type of stop loss underneath this, guess what? The market just fished it away from you, which, is crazy as it sounds, is even normal to happen and almost seems kind of timed, considering we're seeing such strength in the market and we're still seeing strength over there in the stock market. So I'm not too worried about it. You know, should Bitcoin get down into the 27s or 26s or something like that, it'd be a different story. Otherwise, this is kind of what you see in uptrends and in downtrends, right? So in a downtrend, we're typically going to see quick moves to the upside and then drifting down, quick moves up, then drifts down. Like we saw back over here, seeming like, oh, hey, we're getting ready to start and rock and roll. Here we go. Awesome time. Only for it to be a complete trick and for the market to continue drifting back down. We see that same stuff in uptrends. The shakeouts will come. They'll be strong. They'll be aggressive. But then they'll somehow, some way just still be able to hold them. And just we see those things even in these. These are all just straight line down, straight line down, straight line down to go grab all of those stop losses that get set in there. And this morning we were watching it live. It was over $80 million in liquidations that took place in that 12 minutes. So nothing too warning sign out there in broader markets. And for those worried about the SEC not being pleased with BlackRock's ETF filing, John Deaton had retweeted over here on Twitter from Andrew, AP_abacus update. It should be noted that both ARK Invest and at 21 shares and Bitwise Invest remain on the top spot for Bitcoin ETF board. Per sources, they were not asked to update their filings. While BlackRock and Fidelity were scolded, both ARK and BITW are now in pole positions from a timing perspective. So, you know, it seemed weird. It seemed odd for it to happen so quickly on an anonymously sourced article and for there to be such strength. We talked about this all throughout markets in the morning. It starts 20 seconds after the article is released. How the market is able to perform something like that in 20 seconds, outside of it just being a liquidation event that ended up happening. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So for me personally, I don't put much vested interest into an ETF. That might just be from experience of being in the cryptocurrency market. In 2018 and 2019 and 2020, those were here. We had so much hope and so much optimism that that would eventually come, only for it to never to come to fruition. But still, the market was able to rise without it. It didn't really matter at all. And anytime we do see these things actually end up getting approved, they historically have marked kind of pivotal moments in the market. Remember that the SEC did approve BITI, which is the ProShares Trust short Bitcoin ETF. And this got approved in June of 2022 at the literal bottom. What was it? A pivotal moment in the market. This ETF has crumbled since then because that marked the low when a short ETF came out. When the ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF came out, it came out when? October and November of 2021 at the literal top and then headed all the way back down. This was also the story back in 2017 when Bitcoin futures were available. Happened at the literal top of 2017. Hype for it, excitement for it. It gets there. It gets released. Reversal. Same thing for the ProShares Bitcoin ETF. Same thing for the opposite direction for the ProShares short Bitcoin ETF. So even me, I found it surprising to think that that narrative could somehow cause that. So what it seems more likely is that this was just a liquidation hunt. This was a stop loss hunt, and it was successful. And as I spend the last few minutes kind of editing and rewatching what I've done, you come back, look, I mean, you got Litecoin up 28%, Bitcoin Cash up 23%. We're just minutes later. So it does seem like this was kind of just like a liquidation and a stop loss hunt that ended up happening in here. So all that excitement kind of comes right back right away. I mean, 27% on Litecoin, that's nuts. $107 there. Bitcoin Cash back above 300. What a crazy morning we have had, and it's almost like a resumption of where we were prior to all of this happening. Yesterday, I put out a newsletter. If you guys didn't catch it this week, I put out a video about Ethereum, and I get it. Not everybody likes Ethereum, but it was very, very purposeful in the reason that video came out to talk about an expanded flat correction, and that's what it seems has happened. Put out a newsletter discussing that exact same concept over there for Bitcoin, and understanding that as we've gone through this for the last several months, the idea has been this. We've used this fractal the entire time. In this tweet posted there in April over here on Twitter, it's also quoting this right here. As I had said, that it would mark a local top for a few months. And in the image here, we're using that fractal. And this fractal is taken from back in 2020. And that the concept of where we've been at currently right now is very similar to what happened after C19. And that was our capitulation. And then we come up and have an accumulation range. And then this is where we have the ABC correction. So kind of three impulses followed by an ABC correction, and that our price behavior to get back to where we're at right now has still been in line with what happened back then. And we've constantly been pulling this up in here. And if this thing is to continue, that we're looking at a very exciting couple of months ahead of us. And I won't be surprised if we see more moments like we just saw today happening as we go, because that's just what does happen. That's what happens in these. They're always aggressive moves that happen in here. There's shakeouts, there's stop loss hunts. Anybody trying to leverage ride this thing up is going to get hunted out on the way up. But I think the exciting thing to see is what is happening on the right side of that screen and those numbers being so substantial, because this is not what we've been watching. We've been watching 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, then back down 7s, 6s, and the opposite direction. Seeing 27s and 23s and 13s, those are all big numbers. And I think we're reaching kind of an exciting time in the market right now. And the really funny thing is, for my legacy course, every month I've recorded market updates for you guys. So those have always been posted for free. No subscription, no nothing. I've been posting those for free on the last day of the month, every month, even since enrollment was closed for that over a year ago. But one of the things we always do is we look at what was the price last month when the last monthly market update was recorded, and what happened during that sell-off. It was amazing because as I recorded it this morning and published it there for the legacy course, the old one, the price of Litecoin was like at $101. And it's like, okay, we're at $100 right now. And last month when we did the market update, we were, $89.23. Then we have this quick little sell-off that happens here in the market. And where does the price go down to? Well, for those who saw that video this morning, went back to last month's price. And then boom, bounces right off of it here for Litecoin. How about Ethereum Classic? Well, we did the same thing. Boom, that's exactly where it went to last month's ending price as we'd recorded those market updates. And as we can see, Litecoin has used that as a springboard. So I'm not so convinced this whole ETF, even bullishness for ETF, I don't know. But that the news of ETF rumor by anonymous sources, and it even quotes it, and it quotes the sources saying the people, and it says people familiar with the matter. But doesn't mention who they are, causes like an instant liquidation to happen. And then these springboards happening here in the market with these huge percentages. When you come out of an ABC correction like this, typically the next phase of a market is a pretty decent sized impulsive move to the upside. And coming out of April and May and June, it on this channel, it's been, even saying it, it's not really the most fun time for me when I have to kind of keep pointing that this is the direction we're heading in. This is the phase we're heading in. Because people get frustrated. I get bored with it. I'm like, man, okay, hey guys, more down. It's not fun. It's been a while since I've exhibited the excitement. And if you know something about me in this channel, it's rare you're going to see price go up and then also see excitement with me still, even when prices go up. Usually I'm going to exhibit some concern or some worry that, hey, this price is pretty scary to me now that we're getting up. You're not going to see that from me when prices are low, right? I'm like that optimistic guy and everybody hates it. Like, no, we're going to 10K, we're going to 12K. You don't know nothing. But it's rare when, we go up. And like I still keep that. I'm still feeling that. It's been a long time for me to have that still going on right now, and to where I'm like really optimistic about it. And it's because we've pulled out of this correction. We're acting like what happens when prices keep marching up, and we're getting reassurances of that over here on the right side of the screen in the altcoin market. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have an exciting weekend. We know we're going into a holiday week next week. Tuesday is the 4th of July here in the United States. It's Independence Day. But we know that these Wyckoff accumulations have been happening all over the place here in the market. Not just Bitcoin Cash. They're sprinkled all over the place. But Bitcoin Cash obviously giving us the first big sign of strength to pull out of this thing. And just the fact that we have more of them throughout the market, I'm just on the edge of my seat throughout the weekend to see if we're going to end up getting that to happen here in other assets as well. Because this market has a tendency to do similar things together. It doesn't have a tendency for just a couple of assets to go running and they're like doing their own thing because of some special utility that's happening. There's usually something underneath the hood happening that's causing multiple things to go at the same time. And we definitely see that over there on the right side of the screen with Litecoin up over 30% and Bitcoin Cash up 29%. These are exciting times. And I feel like I'm just repeating myself, if you can. I don't know. This is pretty good stuff to be seeing happening over here in the market, especially with Litecoin. I've been a little nervous of Litecoin as it's been sitting underneath here for so long, just stuck there. That move right there it's a pretty big takeout right there. That's a resistance and support level that has historically been there for 2.5 years. So next week we'll dive more into the expanded flat over here for Bitcoin. I think the thing, of course, watching out for is what happens when we get to retraces. But of course, the question after that is, can you get through them? The idea has always been that we'd go back up, we'd get back to our retracements. Now it's whether or not we're going to be able to get through them. And so I'll kind of present some arguments that favor the bulls out there who are shooting for all-time highs, but of course trying to keep that hopium in check, right? I don't like to come on here and just spread false hopium, but if I'm excited, I'm gonna express it because it's pretty rare that I am. I'm usually pretty calm, pretty collected, and it's very rare that you're gonna see me kind of have a bunch of excitement. But usually when we pull out of corrections like this, that's when we're going to see excitement, and then we're getting some of those confirmations of that over there. So shakeout this morning, but it doesn't look like the market buys the narrative. And the stock market trying to get that weekly close through the 702 again. The only one underneath it still is that Dow. So been a long time coming. We've been riding through a lot of stuff out here in this market. June had its goods and it had its bads, of course, with the SEC and Binance and Coinbase, scared the market pretty good. Fortunately here, we did notice all the Wyckoff accumulation happening throughout the market, and we've gotten some nice bounces coming out of that. And I think we're seeing the confirmations of those things to be true, right? Wyckoff accumulation coming out of spring, moving into sign of strength. And then at the same time, ABC correction completed on Bitcoin, moving to the upside, taking out the B wave, acting very similar to what happened in 2020 with same timing happening in here. So absolutely incredible week. I think it's just so nice to finish it off with a bunch of green action over here in the market. And I'm optimistic that there will be more. But of course, the biggest thing for me was, getting this out there. This is for those who have missed videos. We got 5 videos in this week. What an improvement. We got 5 out this week. And of course, that's because I didn't have this going on in the background. For the last 3 months, I've been recording so many videos. So I'm just thrilled to get it out for you guys. 40 videos, 11 hours of content, PDFs that you can download and print out. It's out there for the whole world to see. And you guys have given me such incredible feedback already. So thank you so much. I hope you guys have an opportunity to check it out this weekend and see what it is I've been working on all this time. All right, that's it. bcbacker.com. Knock it out. Link in the description of this video. Have an awesome weekend. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, Just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.